Yeah.
But I'm sitting on the front row, and Michelle's kind of saying, leave, and I'm going, but I'm supposed to be here. And I swear to you, just like this is right here, do you have legitimate lawful authority giving you the power to make me do what you're telling me to do or not do? And just please let me know. And if so, I'll work with you on that basis.
Yeah. So basically, we provide security for the courthouse, for the judge.
Yeah.
But there's a specific statute, and I'll give that to you.
Okay.
At some point where it gives the judge the leeway to ask the deputies to do certain things inside of their courtroom, okay, or the security portion of that. And I'll give that to you. But so they're basically acting under the direction of the judge when they're there. So
Not you.
yeah. So well, they're still under using my commissioner and my authority. But at that point, that statute gives the judge the ability to say, ask this person to leave, or the security of the courthouse, inside their courtroom.
I have a question.
So, okay.
Does he give him the authority to knock my camera almost out of my hand? Slap it?
Well, I mean, I wasn't there, so.
What was her name again? Michelle admitted she saw it.
Okay. So the deputy saw it.
We'll get to that, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be super brief. But on the 6th, this dude orders me into the jury box.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and I wasn't the cause of the disturbance. And I had made it perfectly clear, if there's a law against wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Dude, when you came through the door that one day, I complimented on yours. It never crossed my mind, take your hat off, you're in door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he sends me to the jury box and confined me there, which is false imprisonment. That's the elements. And then freaking assault, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But he says, take your hat off or I'll have you arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And all I had said was, am I breaking some law?
Well, I don't know if there's a specific law, but it may be the judge's rules and inside the courtroom. And I'll have to look up those statutes to see exactly what gives them authority to do that. But yeah, even I as a sheriff, I take my hat off when I go in because they ask me to.
Which is fine.
Just simply,
if you want to.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And my position is, if there's a lawful, legitimate authority for that, then we can deal with that. But that's not what happened, Jason. He told me his mom doesn't allow hats inside. So if he had some authority, he didn't bring it up. He brought up his mom.
I would think it would be under the contempt statutes, but we'll look it up and find it. I'll find that information for you. So.
Well, and if he had said that,
if
he had said that, then at least I have something to go on. It's kind of like this when
Absolutely.
the trooper says you're a seatbelt violator and he cites a statute, I can go to that statute. I have something to go
absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
But when you say take off your hat or I'll have you arrested and thrown in jail, what's the law that I'm breaking? Let me know something so I can.
It would generally be a contempt of court. Now, see, I worked as a courthouse security. The only reason I know a lot of these questions is because I worked as a courthouse security for about a year and a half, and so. But a lot of those rules, basically inside the chambers, inside the courtroom, the judge or that statute can make up, has their certain rules that they ask to be enforced. And at that time, the deputy's acting as their bailiff or their security inside the courtroom. So I would think it would have to be under the contempt statutes, but we'll look it up and I'll get you the information. Now, as far as him knocking the camera out of your hand,
He almost he slapped it so hard I just slapped
yeah,
it.
everybody has the right to make a grievance. I'm your sheriff, and I'm going to make sure that happens. So what I need you to do is write me out a statement. I'll make sure that
I don't know who the dude is. He looked like Colonel Sanders.
Well, I'm assuming it'd be Judge Payton.
And the people there, they wouldn't tell me. So
yeah. So you guys can write me out a statement. I'll make sure it gets to the proper people, which would probably be the DA's office as far as their investigators. Okay. Everybody has the right to. Well, we have OSBI. Everybody has the right to making a complaint, and I'm your sheriff, so definitely take care of you. And do you live? What was your first name again? I'm sorry.
Thomas.
Thomas. Do you live in the county too?
Yes.
Okay. So that doesn't mean anything. I was just making sure. So.
Well, and just so you understand, so this started with me just today trying to figure out what court am I supposed to be in, because it can't be Huggins.
Yeah.
He has all sorts of conflicts.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who told me if you exercise your right to a trial, we'll set a date. You can come here and waste everyone's time and resources. Does that sound like a fair trial is being set up to you? I would swear to God, that dude said that to me. Not to mention I filed a complaint. Not to mention I filed other professional complaints. And not to mention I've cross-claimed him, and he's a defendant in the thing. building. So he couldn't be my judge, so I was trying to figure out who the judge is. So the only office I found that was open was Mike, I guess a DA,
Okay.
who was nice enough to me. He's
Yeah.
the opposition, but he was nice enough and cordial, and you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Not, you know.
Yeah, and the complaints, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you.
go.
But the complaints that you have basically is in the court system, which I have no reign over, in other words, so the DA's office would probably be the person to talk to on that. Now, the assault or how the deputies treated you, those are the things that me and you need to discuss.
Well, let me ask you about this. So it's so weird because somehow they did this continuance thing to the 10th, and I told them I'm going to be out of town.
Yeah.
So then they said, well, let's find a date that works. And then Peyton was resistant to that. And I said, well,
Yeah.
how does that work? That you get a date that works for the judge and then the cop
Yeah.
or the plaintiff, but not me. So I get
Yeah.
prejudiced, right? If I had an
Yeah.
attorney, you'd consult his calendar. So my point is that Mike said, well, yeah, we'll find a date that works.
Yeah.
So Mike said, go connect with Liz Brown or Jessica,
Mhm.
and let's see about getting a date that works. So we went down there, we were sitting there waiting, and she's not in.
Okay.
And so Will came up there, and I told you I liked him. He's just a jovial dude. I always say hi to him when I see him, you know? And so I hated that he saw this conflict, because,
Yeah.
you know, my default is I want to work with you. I want to get
Absolutely. Yeah.
along, you know?
Yeah.
It's these people. So Will then said, he said, well, she's not here, but what you could do is go downstairs and go get with Nicole and see if she could help you out with the calendar.
Yeah.
Okay? So understand, I've got Mike, the DA,
Mhm.
saying, go get with Liz Brown and
Yeah.
Jessica, change the calendar. And then Will says, since this isn't working, go get with Nicole. That's where we were. We
Yeah.
were down there talking to Nicole, who she's seen me plenty enough times with Brandy and Tristan, who
Yeah.
I all like. I get
Yeah.
along with these people. So we're having a pleasant conversation with Nicole, trying to figure out the way to do it. I said, I just want to document for the record that I'm doing what Mike said and what Will said, to do everything that I can to try to get another date.
Yeah.
And she said, I've got it documented. I know you well enough. You've come down here.
Yeah.
Why don't you follow up tomorrow with me or Jessica or whatever, and let's get a date that works for everybody. And I was in the process of saying, I appreciate that. It needs to
Yeah.
work for all three parties. You can't
Yeah.
prejudice one party. And she agreed. And he was filming, which he'd even previously contacted Nicole, ironically, earlier in the day, and she said, yeah, it's fine. So the person who's being filmed is the one who gave him permission earlier in the day to do so. Next thing I know, Jason, like a bat out of hell, Peyton comes over there, put that down, and he's smacking at his hand, and I turn around and cannot believe what I'm witnessing. This guy is smacking at me, put that down. Meanwhile, I've got my camera kind of down here rolling. I've got it all captured, at least for audio. Then that dude comes over to me. I had my papers up there, and I'm working with Nicole when she was in the process of giving me the card and everything. There was a 3-ring binder there. This dude comes over there and slams that binder down on my hand.
Mhm.
And I said, hey, wait, this is assault and battery. Slamming the book down on my hand. My papers are in here. I'm doing what I was told by Mike and
Yeah.
Will to try to get a date. And this dude's assault and battery.
Yeah.
And at this point, I pull my camera up and I get that on film. And so the next thing I know, Peyton, I'm doing what Mike said, what Will said, what Nicole said,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get a date. And Peyton said, no, screw that. This guy needs to be here on the 10th. That's it. Get out of here. Get them out of here. So the next thing I know, and here's where your staff is getting hijacked. I adore
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
But Peyton says, get them out of here. So now Will and Michelle and this other dude, he said he's a sergeant or something, which I need to talk to you about something
Yeah.
there too.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
Go ahead.
So they start taking us out. And I said, well, wait a second, I'm trying to finish up my business with Nicole, which Mike, the DA, told
Yeah.
me and Will told me to do.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? And then Peyton saying, no, he's going to be here on the 10th or whatever. Same old thing. I'll put you in jail and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Dude, this started with a seatbelt, Jason.
Yeah.
They actually said we were being trespassed.
Right.
Now, from a public place, don't you have to commit a crime to be trespassed?
Well, again, we'll have to pull the statutes on the courthouse security. Okay?
Well, I mean, that is a public area.
It is a public area, but I'm not sure. We'll have to determine whether it's inside the courtroom, court chambers, or it's outside.
Now, I know you
It's
can't
all
inside the
outside.
courtroom.
Okay.
And I do know that when it's the whole courthouse, it's supposed to be posted with the order by the judge.
Okay.
There was none.
Okay.
And
Well,
does-
and again, those are you know, it's what the court system does over there doesn't necessarily affect me, what my deputies did do affect me, okay? If they're taking an order from a judge, and the judge is telling them to do something inside the courthouse, we'll have to see where that line is, okay? I'll check on that and make sure, but again, you have a right to, where I come in, is you have a right to make a grievance with your sheriff. I'll make sure that grievance is heard, or somebody looks at it. So what I need you to do is make me a statement, both of you. and-
Let me ask you, like, if someone comes over and slaps the camera, that's assault, right?
Battery.
The assault matter statute is unwanted touching. so-
That's unwanted touching.
Yeah.
And
So-
now I have another question.
Okay.
Now, what was her name? Michelle?
Michelle.
Michelle. She admitted she saw him hit it.
Okay.
Now, could I get a statement from her saying that, and put that in with your complaint, the
If-
complaint I'm going to file?
Yeah, if you want to state from her, what you have to do is file now you got the numbers up here. There's a,
You mean she'd be unwilling to just
No,
write
no,
one
no.
out on her own?
No. She might. We can ask her, but it will go with the report. Okay. If you ask for documentation, we'll give you that documentation as long as you. And I'm forgetting the act for some reason.
It's
We get them
okay.
all the time when they ask us to give certain documents, video, audio, statements, and things of that nature. But no, I don't think that'll all be in the report, because we'll do the report and have the deputies that were there will share their side of things.
Okay. This is like, he has no right to touch me, right?
Dear God.
I mean, that's just,
No one has the right to touch anyone unwanted. It's
Well, he
assault battery.
assaulted
statute.
both of us.
He was out of control. He was,
I mean, and you're saying you're not gonna, you just want to complain against him, not actual file assault
No,
charges
no, no.
against him.
Now you're putting words on.
No, I don't know.
Now
I'm
you're
just
putting
hearing
words
what
on
you
that.
tell me.
What I told you is that you have the right to make a grievance. Okay.
I don't have a right to charge him?
We don't charge. What we do is
You
we write complaints,
pass it up.
give it to the DA's office, and then they
Where it
determine
stops.
where it goes.
where it dies.
Yeah, so the sheriff's office, when people ask us, they say, are you not gonna file charges? We don't file charges.
Okay.
We suggest that charges be filed. We make a report, send it to the DA's office, they decide whether, they're gonna file.
Hardin always had that chronic battle of,
Yeah.
Well, I would like,
Open Records Act. Open Records Act. You file it, and it basically is just, you write me a letter stating that you're wanting these open records on this situation, okay? It's real simple.
can't we just verbally do it?
You can verbally do it.
Well, let's
And-
consider it being verbally asked of you right now.
Well, and I told you, it will go, if a report is made, the officers that were there will make a statement on that report, and they have to state what they said, okay? And then that is,
who is this sergeant guy? He never gave his name.
that is Captain, he's a captain.
Yeah, captain.
It's-
Yeah, I
it's-
think you said
it's-
captain, yeah.
It's Colantuno, Ralph Colantuno.
But it's captain.
Yeah, he is a captain, yes, sir.
Is that, I'm sorry, is that higher or lower? I don't know you're the main
He's
guy.
higher than a sergeant, yeah, it'd be higher than a sergeant. He's
Sheriff?
right under the undersheriff, yeah.
Okay, sheriff, undersheriff, captain,
Yep.
sergeant.
Ralph Colantuno.
Ralph, okay. C,
C-O-L.
you don't even know, that's all right.
O-U-N-O, you know.
Oh, dear God. Say it again.
Owen.
Wow, that's a tough one. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's another crazy thing. So I guess I haven't seen him in a long time because I didn't quite recognize him. I was asking, you know, and who are you? Because I just didn't
Yeah.
recognize him. And he said, "Oh, I know you." I've got this on film too. He said, "Oh, I know you from when David Hardin was sheriff, and you were paying Tom and Dave $100 bills or something to pay off something with
Yeah.
Maxie Price." Have you ever heard anything about that?
No.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, with God as my witness and the camera as a witness, I'll waive any statute of limitations on whatever it is that he thinks that I did.
Yeah.
Charge me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now,
Well,
I worked closely with Hardin like I did when I brought
Yeah.
you a box of strawberries, and I
Mhm.
just said, "You're my guy," and that
Yeah.
you know, that's my disposition. I worked with Hardin. I offered my land up, because that's where, do you know Ritchie Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
They're my neighbors, Ritchie
Okay.
Wilson and Maxie Price,
Yeah.
to the south of me, okay? I offered my land up for surveillance. If that will help you in law enforcement, surveillance, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I've done all these things. Tom Nave, I worked closely with him. I had the dude over for grilled chicken, but
Yeah.
I've never paid him off anything for anything. I don't even know what it would be. So
Mhm.
I don't know what this Ralph guy is accusing me of having
Yeah.
done, but I will waive any statute of limitations if
Okay.
you charge me with whatever it is
Well,
you think I
I'll
did.
speak with him about it. See
Because
what-
I don't appreciate
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the guy who brings you strawberries just to be cordial. I'm
Yeah.
the guy who comes and says,
Well, I
can
don't
we
think
talk
we've,
about
I don't think we,
constitutional
yeah, and I
law?"
don't think we've had any issues, and every time we've talked, I've been pretty candid with you.
Exactly.
And listened to all your complaints, so.
I agree
Yeah.
completely. And I want,
Yeah.
you know. And so then in closing, the only thing I'll say is that we're there doing what Mike and Will said to do.
Yeah.
We're talking with Nicole, who's very
Yeah,
cordial
cool.
Yeah.
and working with us, and hey, you're good. I've documented that you came down here. You're being proactive. Follow up with either one of us. We'll get a date that works for everybody. Bam, slapping his hand. Bam, slamming my hand in the book. And the next thing I know, Peyton, like playing God, says, get them out of here. And we're being ushered out, unfortunately, by your folks, who later, when we were outside just talking to them, I think it was public nuisance and disturbing the peace. They said
Obstruction.
we were public nuisance and disturbing the peace. Really?
Is there gonna be an incident number on this, what happened down there, or a call number?
Yes, it'll be, well, no, it'll be a report. There'll be a report. Yeah.
So, okay, we want all that.
Oh, yeah, you'll get a, if you decide to file a complaint, we get a statement from you.
Oh, I
information,
definitely am.
And we put all that into a report. And then we give that DA's office, they determine where it goes, if it needs to be further investigated. You know, so as well as what you guys have video, we should have video at the courthouse.
Yes. I
Oh,
want that. I
yeah.
want that. bullet.
And Nicole was just right there,
Yeah.
watching the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I can't imagine what was going through
Yeah.
her mind, because I've gotten to know Brittany and Trista, Brandy and
Yeah.
Trista mainly, but I see Nicole in the background. I always
Yeah.
just try to wave and be nice, you know. I can't imagine what she was thinking, because she was being so helpful, and the next thing is this dude's
Well, yeah.
attacking us. But anyway, do you have 2 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I wanted to catch up with you anyway, and not under these circumstances,
Mhm.
but just a couple quick things I wanted to share with you. So as a follow-up to when we last spoke,
Mhm.
which I appreciated your time, I want to help any way I can, and I don't know what your needs are, but I got to thinking about that, and so you shared in the same way that I tried to get hold of Langford, you've tried to reach out and kind of got
Yeah.
what, if you ever need me for something like that,
Okay.
because you're government, you're in the system, right?
Yeah.
But if it's ever helpful to have somebody in the community, constituent,
Yeah.
whatever, also kind of putting pressure, I'll do that for you. If
Yeah.
we need to get after somebody. Because I don't mind doing it. I reached out to Blake Cowboy Stevens and
Yeah.
David Hard, both of them dudes have said, dude, friggin' seatbelt should be your choice. So,
Yeah.
do you feel that way too? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, you know, those are the guys that actually write statutes, so.
Yeah, funny, right?
Yeah, you know, we enforce the statutes, they write the statutes, so, you know, we try to enforce what they, you know, there's kind of a fine line there, almost a
Okay.
gray line, really, but we try to enforce those statutes as best as we can, you know.
I have another question. Like you say, you try to enforce them. You know, Michelle, right? You might getting her name wrong. She saw an assault and did nothing.
Okay.
So is that what your people are trained to do? Nothing when there's an actual assault going on?
No, I mean, it depends on the situation, and I would have to talk to her to see if she's seen it. Now,
She's
if
seen
you're- Yeah, now if you're trying to get me,
No,
I've
I'm
come
just-
out here,
no, I
I've come
know.
out here and been very
I know that
cordial
sounds,
with you guys.
it's just not
and-
right. I mean,
Yeah, I understand, but I've come out here and tried to be very cordial with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, you are.
And answer and help, you know, and answer most of your questions.
Yeah.
I would have to talk to her, because I don't know what the situation was,
Yeah, of
okay, I
course.
wasn't there.
I can't think of any occasion when an assault happens that a policeman wouldn't be
Well,
involved.
and I'd have to talk to her, to see if she's actually seen the assault or seen what happened.
So we're telling you, she said she did.
Well, there's always 2 sides to every story, and that's.
Well, that was her story.
That's kind of that line. So, yeah.
Okay, and but I don't know what to say. We want to get all these records and press charges on him if we can, because
Yeah.
little I know that is assault.
Well, and I.
We'll pursue it.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, generally, I talk to hundreds of people a week. Most of them don't videotape me, which I don't mind. You know, that's your right. Okay. Where it becomes a kind of fine line is when you're trying to trick me up and get me into a situation.
No, I didn't mean. I just want to know why
I
you're.
would have to. It would be like somebody coming in here and I explain this situation all the time. Somebody will come in here and they'll say, I have visitation with my child, or I have guardianship with my child. I want you to go and take this child and give them to me. We always have to have a judge's orders on that because we don't know. There's always two sides to every story.
That's right.
Jim comes in here and he says, hey, Joe took my TV and it's in his house. Well, we can't go in Joe's house and take that TV back unless the judge gives us an order to do that because there's always two sides to every story. I'm listening to your story. I want to get your grievance. I'm your sheriff. I want to make sure that something is done about it. But I have not had a chance to talk to Michelle.
You don't have all
or
available
Ralph.
data.
That's right. I will look at the videos. I don't speak out of turn. That's what I try to do. So.
Can I, and I don't want to press you, but I guess for me on the seatbelt thing, Jason, it's real simple. If the consequences are going to be paid by me, that decision should be made by me. And I resent the thought of another man insisting that I do something that could kill me, especially when he's not going to be responsible. David Harden told me by phone, he gave me 45 minutes by phone, he told me there were 4 instances he knew of where he saw that the seatbelt caused the death. And one of them, brace yourself for this, he said, Scott, those people were strapped and trapped by the seatbelt. The flames were so hot, rescuers could not get to them. Ready for this? Those poor people were screaming, begging not to let them burn to death. They were begging the officers to shoot them in the head and put them out of their misery and give them a quick death. So my thing is it another man's position to force somebody to use a device that can put you in that situation? Or is it more elegant to say, sometimes you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There is no risk-free option. Choose wisely.
I agree. In the position of a sheriff, like we talked about, is as old as the times when people came over from England. The sheriff. So I agree with you 100%. A minute ago you called me government. Yes, we do work off of government funds, taxes, but the decisions I make are based upon the people because we are voted in by the people. And the sheriff is actually the last line of defense between the government and the people. So, I always try to hear people's complaints. I always try to make sure that they're taken care of, their grievances taken care of. Your grievance will be taken care of. You make that complaint. I will get the deputies that were there to make their statements, and it will go to the DA, and then they will decide what they're going to do with it.
Okay, I'm going to shut this off now.